She came into the world on a night marked by thunder. Born under flashing skies, Bina entered life with no arms to hold her. Her mother, weakened by labor complications, died within hours. In the dim infirmary, surrounded by latex gloves and silent monitors, the newborn gorilla was more orphan than infant, alive but alone. No troop calls greeted her, no familiar scent to cling to, just silence and the distant pulse of a species she had yet to meet. For the first 6 months, her world was human. Caregivers fed her from warm bottles, wrapped her in synthetic fur, let her cling to shirt collars like they were vines. She learned the shape of human smiles before the feel of her own kind's touch. But everyone knew it was temporary. Bina was not meant to be raised by hands without fur. Her survival would depend on joining the troop. The day came under clear skies. A metal gate slid open. On the other side, the troop. Mothers grooming, juveniles tumbling, elders watching. Behind a mesh divider, Bina hesitated. Then, with small, uncertain steps, she crossed into a world that was supposed to be hers. No one noticed. She moved among them like a shadow. When she reached for a juvenile's sugarcane, it was yanked away. Attempts to mimic play, cheek puffing, soft swats, were met with blank stares or cold shoulders. There was no violence, but there was distance. In gorilla society, rejection doesn't need claws. Caregivers logged it all. Rejected during foraging. No play reciprocated. Isolates after meals. But perhaps the cruelest part? She watched, constantly, from logs, from vines, from inches too far. She copied movements with eerie precision, eating styles, nest-making, even postures. But mimicry without invitation is only performance. At night, she curled near the sleeping cluster, just outside of it. Not close enough to touch, just close enough to ache. Only one gorilla showed her anything different, an older female named Tula. Tula didn't groom her, didn't play, but she didn't move away. When Bina sat near, Tula allowed it. In the complex world of primates, tolerance is not affection, but it's something. Behavioral specialist Dr. Mako issued a warning. If she doesn't bond soon, she may never bond correctly. The team chose to let the troop dictate the pace, but time was slipping. The dry season arrived, and with it, scarcity. The main grove's resources thinned. The troop had to move to unfamiliar terrain uphill toward a forgotten watering hole. For most, it meant challenge. For Bina, it meant a crack in the structure. New land disrupts old patterns, statuses shift, relationships rewire. And in that quiet uncertainty, Bina, forever the observer, forever the outsider, might finally find space to become more than tolerated. She might become seen. In the cool hush of morning, the troop awakens in new territory. The eastern grove is unfamiliar, its trees shaped by older winds, its shadows deeper. The air carries the scent of damp earth and dry moss. Here, routines must reset, but some patterns remain unchanged. Bina still walks alone. At mealtime, she crouches beneath a crooked fig tree, her back turned to the others. She eats in silence, sorting fruit with slow, deliberate hands. Her eyes flick toward the group, but never for long. When laughter ripples through the juveniles, when fur brushes fur in casual comfort, Bina stays on the fringe, watching, always watching. She is not excluded by force. She has already removed herself. Each evening she curls just inches from the troop's nest, never quite touching, close enough to feel the warmth, far enough to feel the lack of it. One ranger, Layla, documents quietly from the ridge. Her field notes read like a whisper. Minimal social attempts. Eye contact increasing. Still no touch. Emotional withdrawal deepening. But this isn't merely sadness, it's risk. Gorillas are social learners. Their minds bloom through mimicry, through play, grooming, proximity. Without it, the brain falters. Immune systems weaken. Cognition slows. Loneliness in this species is a physical danger. Still, Bina tries. She edges near the juveniles when they tumble in the dust, sits by the shared water bowl, offers fruit peels, gently, slowly, only to have them brushed away. She doesn't protest. She simply returns the next day. And the next, only Tula permits her presence. The old female never reaches for her, but she doesn't push her away either. During long grooming sessions, Bina sits nearby, mimicking the motions. Her fingers copy the combing strokes. Her posture mirrors Tula's. She is learning, quietly, through shadow and stillness. Then, the dry season tightens its grip. Water becomes scarce. The last pools of the main grove dry to thick, clinging mud. The caregivers urge the troop onward, toward a pond barely marked on old maps. A place few have ventured, a place no one knows. That afternoon, they arrive. The pond is murky, brown, and utterly still. No scent of moving water, no signs of life. The troop gathers at the edge, uncertain. Even the dominant male holds back. Infants clutch mothers. Adults stand silent. Then, from the rear, a movement. Bina. She steps forward. Her feet sink into the muck. Each step slow, deliberate. She doesn't look up, doesn't hesitate. The others remain motionless. Dust swirls in the hot air. A single crow calls from above. Bina reaches the water's edge. She kneels, scoops, drinks. Still, no one moves. But something is beginning to shift, subtle as a breeze through tall grass. For the first time, all eyes are on her. Not as an outsider, not as an echo, but as a presence. A small figure against a vast pond. Unafraid, at the edge of the unknown, she pauses. Bina stands in the shallow heat of early afternoon, framed by dust and shadow. Behind her, the troop watches, frozen not by fear, but by uncertainty. Before her lies the pond, opaque, silent, and unmapped. Its surface, a mirror of stillness, offers no invitation. And yet she steps forward, one foot, then another, into the thick, yielding mud. Her slender frame wavers slightly, but she holds steady. The water darkens around her ankles. With deliberate care, she crouches low and drinks. The act is simple, but in a world ruled by observation, it is monumental. No gorilla has moved. Then a shift, almost imperceptible. Tula, the old matriarch, leans forward. Just slightly, her gaze narrows. It is not concern that fills her eyes. It is something older, and perhaps forgotten. Curiosity. Bina does not look back. She remains kneeling in the shallows, scooping and releasing water in gentle arcs. Not playful, yet not purposeless. The sunlight catches droplets mid-air. They glint, then fall. A rhythm begins to form. This is not mimicry, it is expression. And in gorilla society, where roles are shaped through gesture, not words, this is a kind of speech, a statement. She is not waiting for permission anymore. She is acting. At the water's edge, two juveniles shift on their feet. A small male utters a soft chirp. Another rocks forward, then back. The group murmurs in low, guttural tones, uncertain. Still, no one follows, until one does. A juvenile steps into the shallows, then another and another. Slowly, The troop begins to move. They do not rush. There is no command. No leader calls them forward. They come because one among them, silent, small, and long forgotten, stepped into the unfamiliar first. Soon, the pond ripples with life. Infants wade in, clinging to mothers. Young gorillas mimic Bina's movements, cupping, splashing, exploring. Leaves float. Laughter, guttural and bright, echoes among the trees. And at the heart of it all, Bina remains. She does not leap. She does not chase. But she is no longer outside the circle. Layla, watching from the ridge, lifts her radio with trembling fingers. Her voice is hushed, but firm. Market, 12:37 p.m. Bina was the first to enter. In the ranger hut, footage rolls. Frame by frame, they watch it unfold. A solitary figure advancing towards still water. A group hesitating, then following. No fanfare, no defiance. Just motion, just trust. And in that gentle unfolding, a hierarchy begins to bend. For in the wild, dominance is often loud, but inclusion, true inclusion, is quiet. And sometimes, the ones who were once ignored become the ones others learn to follow. The troop plays now, uninhibited. Mothers splash, infants shriek with delight. Water clings to fur and sunlight, and for a brief moment, there is no memory of isolation. Only presence, only play, only the one who stepped in first. Morning returns with softened light and cooler air. The troop gathers at the water's edge once again. But today, something is different. There is no hesitation, no circling caution. They come because she did. And Bina is already there. Kneeling in the shallows, her movements are calm, unhurried. One hand dips into the water, then lifts. A juvenile approaches and imitates her gesture, tentative at first, then with growing confidence. Another settles beside her, close enough for their knees to touch. There is no resistance, no retreat. The troop has begun to accept her rhythm. Then, an unexpected shift. From behind, a young female, slightly older, slightly higher in status, steps forward. Her movements are deliberate. She closes the distance, her eyes fixed not on the water, but on Bina. She leans in and begins to groom her. Slowly, gently, with practiced ease, she pulls debris from Bina's fur. In gorilla society, this is not casual. It is language. It means trust. It means inclusion. It means you are one of us now. Bina doesn't move. She remains still, breathing evenly. Then, with quiet precision, she lifts her own hands and returns the gesture. Mutual grooming. Not tolerated, not observed, reciprocated. From the ridge, Layla presses her notebook to her chest. First, mutual grooming observed, she whispers. Subject Bina, 1416. Status shift confirmed. Later, when the troop nests beneath the trees, Bina doesn't settle at the edge. She lies in the center, arms and legs intertwined with others, breath rising and falling in sync. There is no visible ceremony, no announcement, but in the warm tangle of bodies, the message is clear. She belongs. In the ranger hut, the footage plays again. This time, in silence. No commentary, just a single frame. Bina, eyes closed, resting beside a juvenile who once turned away from her. Now, he sleeps against her shoulder. That evening, beneath a pale moon, 3 young gorillas engage in a light game of chase. Their laughter rolls through the grove like wind through leaves. Bina joins, hesitant, unpolished, but welcome. She climbs, she tumbles, she learns. And when she stumbles, one foot slipping on a low branch. A hand reaches for her. Another grabs it, not out of dominance, not out of instinct, but out of something gentler. Inclusion. Layla watches from a distance, arms folded, eyes misted. "She didn't force her way in," she says softly. "She just showed them where to go." Under the trees, Bina settles once more. The troop forms a slow-moving tide around her. No one moves away. No one avoids her presence. In a species where silence can mean exclusion, this quiet speaks volumes. She is no longer imitating belonging. She is living it. Time passes. The dry season softens. Rains return, slow and forgiving. And the troop holds. Bina is no longer the silent figure at the edge of the frame. She moves among the others with ease now. Her steps in rhythm with theirs, her pauses shared, her play reciprocated. She is not the largest, not the loudest, but she is part of the pattern. Where the young gather, she is nearby. When they climb, she follows. When they rest, she is curled between them, arms brushing fur, breath aligned with the soft exhale of sleep. No longer watched for warning signs, she is simply watched, as any young gorilla might be. Her mimicry has become memory, her hesitation, habit, and now her instincts lead. At the hollow log near the eastern bend, the group gathers in the morning haze. The surface is slick with dew. One by one, the juveniles leap across it, effortless, sure-footed. Bina hesitates. Her foot hovers. She tests the edge, slips slightly, freezes. Then, movement. From the far side, a young male turns. He was once one of the many who looked past her. Now, he watches her, steps closer. He extends a hand, open, waiting, and Bina reaches. Together, they cross. In the distance, Layla stands in the observation post. Her camera remains still. This moment, she knows, is not for logs, not for playback. It is for Bina. That evening, as the troop settles beneath a canopy of rustling leaves, Bina builds her nest, not at the outskirts, not beneath the limbs of solitude, but between two others. Before she lies down, a young female, barely older than Bina, places a leafy branch beside her head. A small gift. No ceremony, just a quiet act of care. Layla writes a final entry for the day. Subject Bina, no longer tracked as at risk. Full social integration confirmed. And then she closes the book. Later, under the soft hush of twilight, the final image takes form. Bina, shoulder to shoulder with two peers. Grooming one, being groomed by another. Their movements slow, almost meditative. Fur twined with fur. Hands moving not from obligation, but from instinct. She was not born into this. She did not arrive with lineage, or allies, or belonging. She arrived with silence, and slowly, step by hesitant step, turned it into recognition. Not demanded, not granted, earned. Now, as the forest settles and the troop breathes as one, there is no trace of the outcast, only a young gorilla curled in warmth, her chest rising in sleep, her hand resting atop another's. And as the night deepens, one truth remains. She is no longer alone. She is chosen. She is home. In the wild, survival is not measured only in strength or speed, but in the ability to connect, to reach out, to be seen, and to see in return. Bina's journey reminds us that belonging is not a gift. It is a path, worn through quiet persistence, shaped by gentle courage. From orphaned beginnings to chosen companion. Her story is not just about gorillas. It is about all of us, searching for a place, a hand, a moment of recognition. If this story moved you, we invite you to share it. Leave a comment below and tell us, what does home mean to you? And if you'd like to see more stories of resilience, connection, and the unspoken language between species, subscribe to this channel. Because sometimes the quietest voices have the most to teach us. Thank you for watching.